Hello, so today I'll talk about the story of after the safari when I went with my friend to Zanzibar, the story of just exploring Zanzibar for 2 nights, 2 days, and 2 days, and also going to visiting Dar es Salaam. After the safari, we then took a flight, landed in Zanzibar. For this first day of Zanzibar, we first of all, I was staying at this hotel called Zanzibar Coffee House, which is a famous 19th century coffee house, which was used to trade coffee, but now it's been remodeled into like a modern hotel establishment. So we're staying there, and after the breakfast, which is on the rooftop, there's this natural breakfast on the rooftop where you have a 360 view of the whole old city of Stone Town in Zanzibar. And after that, I and my friend, we then went to do a tour of the city, starting with the East African slave market, which is the East African slave market was somewhere in the 19th century where a lot of the trading was done, bringing slaves from the mainland of East Africa into this island in Zanzibar. Ironically, today there's a church built on top of that slave market, which, so we went through the tour just talking about the history of that, with the different people who were there, the Portuguese, the Omani Arabs, and later on the British came, and just the impact of that and the impact on the society of Zanzibar in the past and today. And after the chilling tour about the slave trade, we came out for some sunlight, went to have breakfast again at the Cape Town seafood restaurant. It was really good. And then afterwards, we started another tour, which was just a tour of the whole city. The tour guide got to show us everything. So the historical Zanzibar doors, inspired by the Arabs, inspired by the Indians, and then also took us to the second highest building, Swahili House, where he got to show us all the houses, all the different islands around Zanzibar, the prison island. And then afterwards, we went on a tour through the spice market to just see all the different spices that are traded, the spice market, the fish market, and that was interesting. I think my big takeaway was just seeing how everything changes, how it's still, the Stone Town is still, obviously because the UNESCO heritage site is still the 19th century, it's still the past, but still there's a lot of modernity as well, new cars. But because the UNESCO heritage site, you can't change any of the buildings without permission, so everything still looks like you're walking back into time. Finally, we ended the second day, our second night in Zanzibar. We went to see the sunset, just by the beach, and we got to see the sunset. And I remember just sitting there by the beach, having a burger, watching the sun go down, and just reflecting on my whole trip and kind of like the end of an adventure and the beginning of a new one. Yeah, that was good. And then the next morning we had breakfast again at Coffee House, checked out, and we headed off to the ferry to Dar es Salaam. Yeah, the ferry was an hour and a half. It was just this massive big red and white ferry with leather seats and a television set, and it moved really quickly. And before you know it, you were in the bustling capital city of Dar es Salaam of Tanzania. Now, as soon as I arrived, the weather was perfect. I didn't have any plans. Since I was just there for one night, I didn't have any plans of doing any kind of exploring. So went to my hotel and just enjoyed relaxing, went out to get a nice meal, a nice steak, had a shower, went for a swim, and just decided that evening to just relax and take it all in. And then the next morning, I had to catch the early flight back to Kilimanjaro, and eventually from Kilimanjaro to Qatar. And I remember just thinking during the flights and just thinking of the impact of seeing the different environments in Tanzania, seeing the mountain, seeing the Arusha city, and then seeing Zanzibar and now Dar es Salaam. And that is it. Thanks for listening. Jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata.
Naomba dada tucheze,
Hakuna matata.
unaweza kuja,
Hakuna matata.